They want you to believe in a fantasy. A polished narrative is racing through the internet, insisting Caitlin Clark is ready to sign a huge contract overseas, that she's fed up and walking away from the WNBA. On the surface, it feels dramatic, even inspiring, but in reality, it's nothing more than a crafted illusion. This storyline is meant to distract you, to steer your attention from the real issue. They expect you to chase a rumor across the ocean instead of seeing the truth in front of you. The actual story is not about freedom or escape. It's about loss. Caitlin Clark hasn't been in negotiations abroad. She's been sidelined since July 15, 2025, her season cut short. Her groundbreaking rookie year, which changed the league forever, didn't end by choice but by a severe groin injury. This is not the tale of a player who walked away. It's the account of a league that failed its brightest star and allowed her to fall apart. Beneath the polished surface of the Caitlin Clark effect lies a much harsher truth. It was never only a feel-good rise to stardom. It was a countdown to a collapse. The story being hidden is how the WNBA maximized every bit of value from its biggest attraction and then stood aside as she broke down. To understand the scale of this failure, you need to recognize the gift the league was given. The Caitlin Clark effect was not just clever marketing. It was a statistical revolution that brought a struggling league back into the spotlight. Before she arrived, the WNBA was steady, but far from a cultural force. With her debut, it transformed instantly. The 2024 draft, with Clark as the headline, didn't just grow. It shattered records, pulling in 2.45 million viewers, a 374% surge from the year before. Her presence nearly tripled average game ratings, reaching 1.32 million. In May alone, the WNBA posted its best attendance in 26 years, with 400,000 fans filling arenas, many for the very first time. It was a surge of money, attention, and cultural power, and the league took full advantage of every moment.
Viewership, which is up 400% to 40%. Between ticket sales, which is up 93% to 16%. Between regular game viewership, which is up 180% to 20%. What Caitlin Clark has done is grown the WNBA exponentially. She did in 5 weeks what would have taken 5 years. And as it pertains to draft viewership, she did in
5 years of growth condensed into 5 weeks. The WNBA hadn't just discovered a star, it had uncovered a phenomenon. Its very own Michael Jordan. They had found their golden goose, producing value every time she stepped onto the floor. Yet as the league's executives reveled in their sudden fortune, a much darker story played out in plain view. While headlines cheered record-breaking numbers, the harsh reality on the court was quietly ignored. Critics even pushed a dismissive storyline that Clark, the league's supposed savior, was somehow unprepared for the professional stage.
I know she's talented, but she's not strong enough and she doesn't have enough experience right now to...
Not strong enough. That was the claim. But this was never about strength or inexperience. It was about a deliberate campaign of physical punishment. The numbers tell the story, and they are undeniable. In her shortened rookie season, Caitlin Clark led the entire WNBA in flagrant fouls drawn, nearly twice as many as any other player. Think about that. 17% of all flagrant fouls called across the league were committed against one first-year player. That isn't random chance. It's a statistical admission. It proves she endured a level of aggression no one else was forced to face. And while critics dismissed her readiness, she continued to shine.
You're making a basketball argument.
We're not saying No,
Andrea, I'm not going to let you do that.
Go ahead.
I'm not going to let you make it seem like Caitlin Clark was averaging 5 points a game. At the time, she was still averaging 16 points a game, which was more than a lot of other guards that made the team. So don't do that. Don't make it seem like she was averaging 5 points and this was like a handout.
The evidence was undeniable. Every fan, every analyst, anyone watching could see the pattern. It became an open secret, even confirmed within the locker room. Indiana Fever's Sophie Cunningham admitted that opposing teams were building entire game plans around targeting Clark physically. It wasn't random. It was a coordinated assault, repeated night after night. And where was the WNBA? They had the numbers. They saw the hard fouls. They knew their top attraction was being hunted. Yet they did nothing. No serious warnings. No new measures for player safety. No meaningful suspensions for repeat offenders.
Why?
Because controversy sold. The viral clips of rough falls fueled endless debates on TV and social media. The drama, the rivalries, the spectacle, it all drove revenue. The league wasn't just silent. It was profiting from her pain. They made a cold calculation. The Caitlin Clark effect was worth more than Caitlin Clark herself. Ignoring the hate, that phrase reveals the true betrayal. It wasn't only the physical toll. It was the crushing weight of being praised as the league's savior while being cast as its villain. And the most damning proof came from Clark herself. She knew exactly what was happening. She carried the burden every single day. In a selfless act, she accepted it, sacrificing her own peace for the growth of the game. She absorbed the hits, the criticism, the constant negativity, just to give women's basketball its moment. She gave everything, and the league gave nothing back. They took her loyalty and turned it against her, allowing opponents to break her down until her body finally gave out. Her season-ending injury wasn't a shock. It was the inevitable conclusion to months of abuse. It started with a quad injury early in the season, then a groin strain in June. Her body flashed warning signs, demanding intervention. But the league kept pushing, kept showcasing her, kept cashing in. They ignored every signal until July 15th, when the final catastrophic injury struck, a torn right groin that ended her season. The breakdown was complete. The golden goose was shattered. When Michael Jordan rose, the NBA knew what it had. They moved to protect him, rewriting rules to limit excessive physical play, because protecting their star meant protecting their future. The WNBA had its own generational talent, its own future, and let her be dismantled piece by piece. They didn't just fail her. They chose not to protect her.
The WNBA elevates. Remember, it could have been even better. You messed it up. The NBA became. Even when Jordan was ascending and the league clearly saw that that was the dude, and Nike was marketing the living hell out of Michael Jordan. I want to be like Mike. It was still burden.
That is the epitaph for Caitlin Clark's rookie season. The league collected its money, its ratings, its 5 years of growth packed into 5 weeks, but the cost was her health, and a historic season now marked with an asterisk. The viral rumor about her heading to Europe spread for one reason. It offered a fantasy of justice. Fans wanted to believe in a world where she could escape a league that so clearly failed to protect her. That lie wasn't driven by malice, but by desperation, a need to imagine her safe. The truth holds no such comfort. It is a story of corporate greed and human cost. A season was sacrificed. A player was betrayed. And the question that should haunt the league office is simple. If this could happen to Caitlin Clark, the sport's brightest star, then who is safe? Who will be sacrificed next? We are only beginning to uncover the scale of this betrayal. And make no mistake, the story they don't want told is just beginning.